What's up guys, it's MaGiK here. I'm gonna bring you guys a Counter-Strike source video. Just some random deathmatch on the church server. Check them out if you play Counter-Strike on the regular. Okay guys, so what are your thoughts on Call of Duty? You can go ahead and comment that below. Personally, I'm only a big fan of the older Call of Duties. I'm a big COD 4 guy, COD 5, Black Ops, you know, I get with it. But why don't I like the newer Call of Duties? That's a discussion for another day. But right now, I'm going to talk about Call of Duty's hacking problem. Why I think it has such a big hacking problem. And how I think it can be solved. Solving the problem is a hell of a lot easier than letting it happen in the first place. As you guys know, Call of Duty, generally speaking, is usually hacker-ridden. And I speak mainly for the older ones. And there's a few reasons for this. The community, different incentives for hacking, and there is no anti-hack, anti-cheat shield, whatever you want to call it. That is non-existent in Call of Duty. Call of Duty relies solely, excuse me, I have a cold. So Call of Duty relies solely on the player to report a hacker. Now, if you go to Steam, you immediately have to wait. If I'm correct, it's 21 days before you can do anything on your Steam account as far as trading goes or anything like that due to hacking. Valve is very anal when it comes to hacking, and they don't play around with it. As for Call of Duty, Activision, Treyarch, now there's a third development team, which if I'm correct it's Mad Dog, but don't quote me on that. They could give a damn less. They just want their money from, you know, the mindless drones who think they're buying a new video game every year. And if you play Call of Duty, don't take that offensive, but that's what you are. You're a mindless drone who is excited about getting a new video game, or at least in my opinion. Now, let's go ahead and go over the community. Generally speaking, the community in Counter-Strike, which is a game I play at least once a day, is a lot more mature than the community of Call of Duty. It's very easy for a parent to buy their kid a babysitter, being the Xbox, and throw a Call of Duty at him and give him a mic and just tell him to shut up, than it is for a mom to buy a laptop, set up a Steam account for a kid, do all this jazz. It's just real simple when it comes to consoles. So it's easy for children, and I mean children as in like young children. Me personally, I'm 16. But I mean young children around the ages of like 10, 11, 12, even 13, that's still a bit young, to get on that mic and rage. I think what a lot of the times happens is you know, they get on this game and they suck compared to the more advanced players and skilled players, as if Call of Duty takes any skill. But they suck against them, so they decide to get a hack. That's one reason. Another incentive to hacking is the level up system in Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a system of ranks, quote unquote. For example, private, private first class, E1, E2, E3, E4, etc. That you can level up through. And as you level up, you unlock new guns, new perks, new kill rewards, new sights for your guns, a cool duct-taped magazine to make you reload faster. Things like that, that personally I don't see a need for, at least in a shooting game. But that's on you. You know, if you like Call of Duty, fine. I'm just giving you my thoughts on why I think people hack in Call of Duty. The reason for this level up system is, I assume, to add a little bit of variation to your average shooter. But that's in every shooter now. So, when you level up, you get, say you want this new fancy red dot sight. Okay? You want to try real hard in game with the awful iron sights so you can unlock that new fancy shiny beautiful red dot sight. Ooh. What happens when someone can't achieve that? What happens when they either just suck at the game or other people are just better than them? For whatever reason it could be, what happens when they just can't level up? They hack. It's real easy to just get your hack and run through a map and get consistent headshots and level up, get all the XP you want. Boom, you're done. You've already got that fancy red dot sight. Now you don't have to worry about it. That's what I'd call a temporary hacker. But what happens when that hacker decides, hey, I want more? Why not just unlock the holographic sight that's after the red dot sight? Why not just get that too? That's when you create, I wouldn't say an quote-unquote addiction, but you get the idea of it. They want more. So they continue to hack until eventually they've prestiged all the way, and then they've exhausted themselves from the game, and they've ruined their experience. As if Call of Duty could give you a good experience. They've ruined any chance of a good experience they could have playing a video game, working hard to level up, that they could have gotten if they didn't hack. Because now they've already got everything unlocked. There's no real incentive to keep playing the game. You know, it's pretty much quote-unquote beating a game in terms of multiplayer. So you don't have this problem in Counter-Strike. There are hackers, they're few and far between though. You don't have this problem in Counter-Strike because there's no real incentive to hack. When Counter-Strike is played competitively, and I mean top level competitively, usually it's broadcasted on television or it's streamed on the internet for thousands, hundreds of thousands, if you know even. Hundreds of thousands of people will watch. Anybody can access it. And usually tens of thousands of people will watch these tournaments live. So you can't get away with hacking because so many people are watching it live. What about lower level competitiveness? See, now Valve has incorporated a VAC anti-cheat system to where most of the time you get banned if you try to hack. And even if you get through hacking, most players will report you immediately because nobody likes a hacker. Call of Duty has no anti-cheat system in place whatsoever, and they rely solely on the player base to report hackers. This is why so many hackers go unnoticed. Because one, players feel, at least on my end, and what I could guess, players feel it's just a pain in the ass to go and take the time to report a hacker, fill out a little incident report, quote unquote, you know, something like that, describing what happened, and then half the time nothing happens because they either didn't have a way to prove it, you know, or they just didn't think to record it at the time. As to where this problem's solved, and at least the newest Counter-Strike. This is an old Counter-Strike, it's Counter-Strike Source. This game came out in, if I'm correct, 2006. But I could be wrong, it could have came out earlier. That's just a quick guess I could give off the top of my head. You don't have this problem in Counter-Strike, just there's no reason. Counter-Strike is based solely off the player's ability to perform kills and get their frag. If you can get a headshot, boom, you're in the money right there. As to where, in, you know, Call of Duty, it doesn't matter. It's all about getting your XP and leveling up to get your new gun. Some people are either lazy or it's too hard for them to level up, so they decide to hack. What is another incentive to hacking? Trolling. Boy, do we love trolling. So many people nowadays troll. It's kind of like an overused video topic. I mean, unless done right on YouTube. It's easy to go in, find that 12-year-old whose parents bought him an Xbox to babysit him for a bit, and just troll the piss out of him till he rages and quits his game and go cries. It's easy to do that. Personally, I don't find this amusing. I'm not hating on anybody like Minnesota Burns. I just don't find it amusing. So, people like to troll. It's just a thing people do to get a laugh. You know, when you tell a joke, you laugh. Same thing here. When you mess with somebody and you irritate the piss out of them, it's hilarious to see their reaction. That's just human nature. A lot of the times in Counter-Strike, the only real reason people troll is to annoy the piss out of everybody that is in the server. Just to run through with an AK, hold down their left mouse button, and shoot everybody in the face. And just listen, you know, to people raging through their mics. It's really simple, and unfortunately, it's done, you know, the most time. That's why it's done. So, other than that, I can't think of much of a real reason to hack in Counter-Strike. I can think of clan wars, but even still, I doubt the person watching this is in Fnatic, or any clan like that, or any guild, whatever you want to call it, team. I doubt you're in that high of a team to where you can hack and get away with it. And if you aren't, you know, good for you. You beat another clan and you got no reward for it. The only thing you can do is say, hey, I beat this clan, unlegitimately. And I think in the community, too. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's a lot of kids in Call of Duty, and there's more adult, mature players in Counter-Strike. So I'll end it on that note. My name's MaGiK, and yes, I have a lisp.